All right, day 2 here at Gen Con 2024, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Justin Gary of Stoneblade Entertainment. So far, how's your convention going?
It's been madness, man. It's been really fun. I feel like it's one of the busiest Gen Cons ever. We've had a lot of people very excited about our stuff, and it's been fun to talk about it.
I was going to say that I had the pleasure of interviewing last year, and although there was plenty of attendance last year, this feels like a whole other beast.
It really does. I couldn't, walking in here yesterday, it was just like this crazy mob of crush of people, and it just has felt like that intensity all around. So, I mean, it's great. It means the industry's growing, the games are growing, but it does mean you got to plan a lot of extra time if you want to get from one side of the hall to the other.
No, 100%. I feel like I've been just barely making it to all my appointments, which is why I look a little bit tired on these videos. So why don't you tell us what you guys are showing off at the convention, and we can get some updates on some things we talked about last year.
Yeah, it was really cool because we talked about SolForge Fusion last year, and at that time we had just had the physical game had launched. We had done our second release, Battle for White Fang Pass. Since then, we've now done our third release, The Last Winter, which just came out in late June, so just a little about a month ago. Okay. And then we also launched the app for the game, which is really exciting because, as we talked about, the vision for SolForge Fusion is the world's first hybrid deck game, and that means unlike other games where you buy a physical game and then you got to buy the digital game, or you need a digital game to play the physical game. These ones are standalone and completely compatible. So what that means is every single deck includes a QR code. You can scan into your online account and play the game online completely for free along with your decks, right? So you can just load up digitally, play it digitally, and then next year we're going to have the ability for you to print your cards and have the digital stuff come into physical space.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
So it's really cool. But we also, in addition to the things that you would expect, right? Like you can play your decks, you can build decks, you can battle against other people online, you can battle against an AI. We also built on an algorithmically generated campaign mode, similar to things like Slay the Spire, if you're familiar with that.
Yes, of course.
But imagine if in Slay the Spire, you could instead bring your custom deck into the battle, level it up, gain upgrades, battle bosses, and that's what you can do with SolForge Fusion. With, again, the exact same decks you can buy physically, we'll be able to have this whole new play experience. So it's something we're really proud of. Like, Richard and I did a lot of work to help build this thing, and I'm very excited to be able to finally be able to share it off.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I know that one of the visions of SolForge Fusion is the story and the world and the lore behind it. I know you guys weave that into your organized play as well, and now with the app having an actual story campaign and some more world building there.
Yeah, well, what's funny is literally as we are doing this interview right now, our storyline event is happening across the hall in Lucas Oil Stadium. And so what that means is people are influencing the story of the world. We have a bunch of cool surprises. We change up the rules and do different things. And the things that happen in your games, our lore writer, George Rockwell, is our creative director. He is taking notes, and he actually will craft custom stories that tie to your deck, and will tie forever to the digital version of your deck, that this deck is the one that changed the world, and then changes the cards that show up in future sets, and change the narrative. And you can go to SolForgeFusion.com story, and you can actually see all the different decks that have become part of this legendary story development process, which we just think is really cool, and again, something nobody else has ever done before.
Yeah, I mean, at its very base level, it's added prizing to these tournaments and stuff like that, but this is something that isn't fleeting, right? It's something that actually has impact, and I mean, it's something that you get to kind of flex on the community that you're a part of and that you enjoy.
That's right.
So, no, that's
yeah, and my background, right? I come from a pro player background originally, right? I was Magic U.S. National Champion, World Team Champion. Like, I traveled around the world playing competitively, and I love prizes and I love playing competitively, and I wanted to build a game that stood up to high-level competitive play. Like, there's a lot of strategy to it, but I also wanted you to feel not just like I'm here to win. I'm here to win for myself. I'm here because I care about the community, because I care about the story, because I want to be a part of it. And so these kinds of prizes and these kinds of structures help build what I consider a healthy, competitive, collaborative community.
Okay, and so what else are you guys bringing to the show this year?
Well, one of the most exciting things right now is our Ascension Legends game, which we have an early prototype for here at the show. And the reason it's an early prototype is because it's live on GameFound right now. Okay. So it's only live until Thursday after the show. I think it's like the 6th or the 8th. The 8th, yes. Yep, and so that's the first new Ascension set I've gotten to design in over 3 years. It's our 17th standalone expansion. It's actually, Ascension launched exactly 14 years ago here at Gen Con. So to be able to still do this is pretty amazing. But one of the other cool things is we've reintroduced every single one of our expansions as part of the crowdfund. So you can buy every single set of Ascension that's ever been made. A lot of them have been out of print for over 10 years, all as part of this crowdfund in a cool collector's box. Yes, exactly. It holds everything.
Treasure trove.
Exactly. So that's been really, really cool. We've got a great response. A lot of old fans who want to pick up sets they missed, and a lot of new fans who enjoy the game and want to kind of get into it. It's a perfect opportunity for it.
Yeah, so you feel like you haven't missed out, right?
Exactly.
You're not jumping into something late. You can catch up right away.
Exactly. So it's a really cool experience, and that's been great to like be able to show it off and get people's reactions to it. So that's probably the thing where like SolForge and that are some of the stuff I'm most excited about. And I've got one other cool thing here, which is right behind you. Aha! Almost like I planned it. Shards of Infinity Saga Collection. This is actually not coming to retail until like late October, but we got like 100 copies that just got airshipped in like last minute. We were supposed to not have it here. And this is the other deck building game I built. Like after 8 years of working on Ascension, I was like, okay, if I were gonna start over and make a new deck building game without the constraints of Ascension, what would I do? That was Shards of Infinity. And we did 3 different expansions after that. We made a campaign mode, we had a whole bunch of stuff, and this is like the definitive edition that puts everything into one box, has like a Saga legacy style way to play. It's like just a super fun, like very compact, very like tight deck building game experience. So it's really cool to have this here. This is just a teaser because nobody can get it yet, but it's another thing I'm pretty excited about.
And then what are the normal play sessions for Shards of Infinity? Like how long does that usually take?
A normal play session is 30 minutes, 2 players, very fast. If you have more players, maybe like 45 minutes and then the campaign experience where you're actually you have a choose your own adventure battle book, and there's some bosses you battle against, and then we actually have it voice acted by Jason Charles Miller, really like well-known voice actor. It's really fun. That one, each individual encounter takes about 45 minutes, and it's like a 3-hour playthrough for if you want to do them all. So, but typically I like playing. This one's my favorite, like 2-player game experience. 30 minutes, really fast, really tight, like lots of fun.
All right, and just to rewind a little bit, so when we talked last year, and you've already mentioned it now, the digital client hadn't launched yet. What's been the response with that so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, like, again, it's one thing to promise that you're going to build something, and another thing to actually put it into people's hands. So it's still in early access. We're still developing it actively. There's a lot of new features. We do new releases every 2 weeks. We update it. We fix bugs. We put new stuff out. But the reaction's been great. Our community is very active on our Discord, and it's a difference. Like, one of the challenges with collectible games, right, is you want to, if you love the game but you don't have other people to play with, well, what do, right? You're kind of doomed, right? And so now we have some communities which are really great, SolForge Fusion communities, and other places where there's only a couple of players. Now they can jump online, join the community, play with their decks, experience it. So we have tournaments running online all the time, so you don't have to just come to Gen Con to play in our storyline events. We have digital storyline events where you can participate in influencing the world from your home, from your couch, from your, and so it's been a really exciting way to bring the global community together, and we have a lot more in store.
All right, awesome. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. Like we talked about at the beginning, it is insane in here, and I know that it's been super crowded. And then hopefully, you said that you're still out here doing it 14 years later and showing up Gen Con. Hopefully I'll see you again.
Come back here for our 15-year anniversary. We'll be excited to do this again.
All right, until next time, bye-bye.